This is the Intro to Statistics, Exam 1 Review, page 7. We are going to start on problem number 13, where we are comparing two box and whiskers. And we'll see if I can coordinate colors here so we can match it up. The maximum and median score for the two samples. So in blue, for your class, our max is 100. Our median, this value right here in the middle, is 90. For your friend's class, we also have a max of 100. Our median here is 80. Which sample has a wider variation? That would be your friend's class. Because the range, which is largest value minus smallest value, equals 40. And that is bigger than the range for your class. Where if you go, what do we have, 100 minus 68-ish is 32. C, for each sample, find the percentile, which is the percentage below a score of 90. So for your class, the 90 is on the median. So 50% below the 50th percentile. And in your friend's class, we see that 90 is here at Q3. Remember that each chunk has 25% of the data. So your friend's class, that 90 is the 75th percentile. I'll label this one up here too. For each sample, find the score at the 25th percentile. For your class, that Q1, the 25th percentile is 85. 25% of the data falls below that value. For your friend's class, the Q1 is at 70. Overall, which class do you think performed better? I would say your class. Values are closer together. With a higher Q1, median, and Q3. Which class do we think has more students? You cannot tell, because when we break up into percentiles, those quarters, we know how much of our group is in each quarter. We don't know actually how many separate values there are. Okay, so 14. You can see below here, I cranked this all out in Excel. I have got the original data set. Over here on the far left. Then I ordered this. I sorted it. To the right, you can see minus the quotes, the Excel commands I used to find these values. So our mean, 27.667. Notice it says the statistics are supposed to be calculated to 3 decimal places. I did that. The median here is 28. It divides our data set in half. So you notice I highlighted the top set yellow and the bottom set 3. And our median lives right here, right between 27 and 29. Mode, just by eyeballing the data sets, once I put it in order, I see that 29 happened 3 times. Nothing else did, so when I cranked it into Excel, mode.sngl, a single mode is what we are looking for, and it returned that 29. Our range, we took our largest value, which was 49. That is in cell C19. So you notice here as I reference C19, that is this cell right here. And I cut out the labels, but this is column C. This is row 19. 18, we could number down. This is 2. So when you take a look at what this says, C2 to C19, I literally just clicked on that top, dragged all the way down so Excel knew that we were using all of these values. So here for the range, I clicked on C19, I subtracted C2, we get a range of 31. Standard deviation, and this was mentioned so very briefly, I am not sure if we even used Excel to do this. You are going to start typing in standard deviation, STDEV. .s gives us the standard deviation for a sample that is calculated differently than if it is an entire population. We typically will use this STDEV.s. So, oops. I started talking and have not been. Standard deviation 7.476 to 3 decimal places. The variance is always our standard deviation squared. And so here 55.882. The interquartile range, Q3 minus Q1. Remember, in order to find those, I have to find the median of the bottom half of the data. That gives me my Q1. And then the median of the top half of the data. And by bottom half, I mean the values that are less than the median. The top half is the values that are greater than the median. So Q3 minus Q1, 30 minus 23, and we get 7. So to find our upper fence, and you can see I have listed the command in there. Our upper fence is Q3 plus 1.5 times our interquartile range. Our Q3 was 30. Plus 1.5 times our 7. 30 plus 10.5 gives us a 40.5. Remember that to find the upper fence, we have to add to Q3. To find the lower fence, we are subtracting from Q1. Sorry, the Apple Pencil is dying. I will charge before I do the last page here. We got 23. Minus 10.5, and we get 12. 6.5. Our only outlier is 49. Because it lies above the upper fence. Which was 40.5. Always list the number so you can back it up mathematically. Let me give myself a little room here for our stem and leaf plot. So we go from the 10s to the 40s. And I am again just using the table from above. The first term is 19, so there's my 1, there's my 9, that's a 19. 33, 25, 18, 49, 29, 30, 20, 29, 35, 23, 26, 23, 27, 34 and 30, 29 and 19. Again, our stem and leaf always needs to be in numerical order. So my 18 goes first. This shows that I have two 19s. I had a 20, a 22, 23, 25, 26, 27, and there are three 29s. I have two 30s, a 33, a 34, and a 35, trying to keep those numbers lined up so that this also looks like a histogram on its side. And there's our stem and leaf plot.